Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Thursday, October 31st, 2024. Happy Halloween. I didn't plan anything special for the holiday, and as a matter of fact, I didn't even look at the new card yet. So let's see what we've got today. Put the old one away. There's not many left. We are almost done. It's a big deck. Look at how many cards there are. Okay, today's card. Haramud. I don't know what he is about yet. Let me take a look. This is Haramud, the Brave Traveler. This is essentially the Fool. This is card number 1, the Brave Traveler, the Fool. I wonder if you could go through this entire deck and pick out corollaries for the tarot. I wonder if the count matches. I really have no idea. So today we have Conan the Barbarian King Size Annual number 5, which is a continuation of number 4. I didn't know that's how annuals went. I'm sure I got this in a used book box somewhere and it said Conan and I bought it. And here he is swinging the sword, fighting somebody. He's basically winning a fight right here. This is the end of a fight where he puts down this king. This bottom panel right here, where he's got the sword to his throat, that's not a surrender. That is why Conan the Barbarian will never be a cartoon. And He-Man is really as close as we'll ever get. If you think about all the characters, Skeletor is every evil wizard. You know, Beastman is every were creature. Merman is every fish god. You have Tila, sorceress. Duncan, who's man-at-arms, right? And then there's still the king and queen, King Randor. I don't remember what the queen's name was. They didn't need to have him switch between Prince Adam, but Conan was basically Spartacus, so you can't have Spartacus in, He-Man the cartoon. It just wouldn't work. It's too many characters. That's too adult a storyline. But that is as close as you get. I should explain what's happening here. Yeah. Conan. I can't even remember. Oh, this is when Zenobia breaks Conan out of prison, and then he has to fight off this monster with the knife that she gave him, and that makes all the difference. And he, part of what's going on is also this guy right here, Conan killed his son, which is fucked up. That's a flashback they show right here. First, there's a Spider-Man Twinkies ad. I was thinking about those Dungeons and Dragons ad, the 6 pages they had in the giant size issue, the one we looked at yesterday. If they had done a 6-page Dungeons and Dragons comic, it would have been so much more effective than those bad, muddy photos printed on newsprint. Those would only work glossy printed. So look at this. This Manitor, it's called a Manitor, not a Minotaur, I guess. And this is a guy. This is the man-at-arms, basically the Secretary of Defense for the Kingdom. It's his son, and Conan kills him. And then after he kills him, he turns back into a human again. And so this guy is telling him not to marry you don't have to marry this slave girl who was once in a harem. She was in a harem, but she's an Median royalty. And she had never been slept with by the king of that kingdom. And so she's still technically chaste. And I suppose this mattered more in 1979 when you're talking about a king and royalty. And remember, these are read in England and all over Europe, Australia. So here Conan calls out the public. He's going to have an announcement for them. And this first panel is not that many people, I remember thinking. But down here, they've got like the locals and whatnot. And there's actually, look at some of the characters. The girls' faces. Bellet makes an appearance. Some of the sort of popular girls of, I think, the 70s make an appearance. And Zenobia herself is incredibly beautiful. She's drawn like Raquel Welch or Sophia Loren. She's very much of that sort. And this is Roy Thomas and Ernie Chan is, no, John Buscema. This is John Buscema. I've heard people before say that all John Buscema's girls look like, you know, so-and-so. I don't remember who they said, but it was some actress from back then. And you know what? If you're going to draw your girls to look like one girl, J. Scott Campbell's girls are all beautiful. They don't all look like Denise Richards. So, this guy tries to kill Conan and cuts his arm. He's an assassin. I should back up a page and show you guys that. And everyone's a little bit freaked out. There's 2 pages of ads here. Everyone is a little bit freaked out because this assassin, his knife was not poisoned. And Conan is like, if I was going to assassinate someone, I'd poison the knife. But the guy who sent them, Tothal Ishti or something, this wizard, he wants Conan to know it was him, so he wants to do all these little attacks to keep Conan on edge. And this is like the 4th assassin. He just got done saying there's been 3 assassination attempts on my life, and then this is the 4th one. And this guy was dressed up to look like an old man, but he's really not. Excuse me. And Conan, what happens here? There's a bit of a flashback. Oh yeah, this is a story of how Conan's had a lot of... Oh, no. This is the... So, something... Conan does have a harem, but he's actually telling them no more. And then this is the bad guy, Count Draco. Check out his helmet. Count Draco is in league with this wizard, Tothal Ishti, whatever his name is. Count Draco has soldiers, and Tothal Ishti, this guy in the goofy helmet, had his head cut off. And I think that's what... Oh, no, that's this panel down here at the bottom right here, is a winged demon carrying off his head to some other wizard. And then they reattached it, which I think is in one of these Savage Sword issues. They probably reference it down here somewhere. Probably at the bottom right here is probably where they reference it. But without the glasses, that's impossible right now. I used to be able to read comics. Not anymore. Here is Zenobia. This guy comes and tells her where her parents are, and that's the other thing that was going on, the other plot device. And he says, they're here waiting for you, but they're Nemedian, and they're afraid to come into Aquilonia. They're afraid they'll be killed. And Zenobia goes to tell Conan, and she sees this harem girl walking into his chambers, and all the harem girls are in his chambers, and so she's like, no, he said he wasn't going to do that anymore, and here he is. And he is telling them, look, it's over, I'm getting married tomorrow. Although, why you call them to your harem chambers at, 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.? So Zenobia leaves with this guy who is obviously not trustworthy. Here we get a big ad for Saturday morning cartoons. I think Tarzan's in there, Batman's in there. Those are good. That's a good ad. And here we get Zenobia is taken hostage by the evil wizard. And instead of, the million evil princess bride things that they can do with a princess when they take her hostage, they introduced a double. Check this out down here. That's a good single page too, right? Like the wizard meets her at the top of the page, and they finish the plot exposition by the bottom of the page, and you're moving on. That's why I'm looking at these. And look at this monster on the cover. So that alone is a great note. This 6-panel page moves the plot along. That's a good 1 minute of a TV show where a girl is taken hostage. She's introduced to the main James Bond bad guy who tells her what he's going to do to James Bond and then releases her double, same actress. back out into the show. And now Conan is with her, and the whole town is getting ready. The whole town, the whole kingdom, the whole city has come out for the royal wedding because everyone's going to have, good food and whatnot. She will not make eye contact with Conan. He's doing the whole, babe, what's wrong? Babe, what's wrong? Babe, what's wrong? Nothing. Nothing's wrong. Everything's okay. And it's kind of hilarious. He is defenseless against that. He has no ability to negotiate that. And so everything continues. They get married. They go home. They get married. They have a reception party. And through the whole reception party, she's just, I just want to be done with this. I just want to be done with this. So, more ads. Carries her up into the bedchamber, and as soon as she confirms that he has not brought his sword, she turns into a monster and attacks him. And that is the cover. I love when the cover matches the actual comic, and it's the same thing. It's not just a pin-up that they plucked from, that they've had in the files for 6 months. Like, oh, we need something for this cover. Nowadays, those are the variant covers. So... But anyhow, Conan gets attacked. He has no weapon, so he grabs the brazier, this brass lantern, and attacks the demon with it, and then proceeds to set the room on fire. And the demon, unbeknownst to Conan, happens to eat fire, and so it's growing and getting bigger and bigger. And meanwhile, Zenobia is being threatened by the wizard, who's telling her that the psychic link has been broken, and then now he can feed her these crocodiles because he knows that the demon has returned to its own realm, and that it would only do that if Conan was dead. So therefore, it's time for her to die. Does she have any last words? And this is, in true comic book fashion, Conan arrives at the last minute. His shirt all ripped up, ready to save his bride-to-be, even though he just married a monster. And I love the small 1-inch images. Maybe that's 2 inches on 11 by 17. But I love the corner when they're well done. There's one that they have in Savage Sword that I really want to see the original for, and I've never been able to find. Anyhow, Conan rescues Zenobia, and this is probably a 25, 28 page comic. I didn't count all of it. I counted up to where the wedding happened, and that was 16 pages, so there's at least another 10 after that. Here is the flashback where Conan explains what happened, how he was in the tower and he got out because he knew the secret passage, and the demon just kept growing until it exploded, and blah, blah, blah. And now Conan and the guards are catching up to this wizard who Conan has already killed, and he's like, well, you pushed me, you called my bluff, so here's what I'm gonna do. And he throws Zenobia to the crocodiles. Conan, of course, dives in after her with a knife, fights the crocodiles, stabs them both, but knows that they're not dead, that they'd had enough to give up on the fight, and it gives him time to rescue Zenobia, which he swims back up and does after a couple pages of ads. But they're not out of it yet, though meanwhile, they don't explain this. The wizard starts to do some magic spell, and his throat seizes up and he falls into the pool, and the crocodiles eat him, and that gives Conan and Zenobia time to get out. And then there's some conversation about they should get married tomorrow, and Conan's like, no way, we're doing it right now. And I don't remember what the explanation, because this is the last panel. They didn't really explain how the wizard was killed, so I imagine that'll be in the next annual. I'm sure Roy Thomas will keep track of that. He's got to have some massive spreadsheet where he keeps track of all the different events that happen in each issue. I know that's the editor's job too, but 250 issues of Conan the Barbarian and about the equal of Savage Sword. Only 4 Conan or Savage Tales though. I think Savage Tales are probably non-canon stories. There's a Neil Adams story in there called Night of the Dark God that's probably one of the best Conan stories of all time, where he goes home to see his girlfriend to his town and his village in Samaria. So this is Conan the Barbarian annual, king size annual number 5. And it's a pretty perfect comic. It's long. Like I said, I didn't count the pages. And give me a minute and I'll look up and see what it was that killed this wizard. Roy Thomas absolutely does not explain why this wizard's throat seizes up, aside from the fact that he'd been decapitated at one point and had his head put back on. So I'm guessing that whatever wizard put his head back on nullified that spell and it removed his ability to speak. That must be what happened. That's the magical explanation, right? I was talking a couple issues back about how magic works in comics and when it's done well versus when it's not done well. There's a few of these. They're all right here. So this one, the end of this one, Shumagorith, was not really done well. It was okay. But this one, the one where he fights the four-armed god, I think it was this one is where he fights the four-armed girl. This one was awesome. This one, the way the magic was handled was awesome. And it was the special artist, E.J. Cruz. This one, the magic was silly. Roy Thomas didn't even take the time to write this issue. So half of the people spoke a dialect that wasn't even translated. It was literally just gobbledygook on the page. And they didn't have Google Translate back then, so even if it was some foreign language, like Portuguese, if you didn't know it, you didn't read it. So, you know, why am I busting on comic book writers from 30, 40, 50 years ago? Just taking notes. That one page, I don't remember what it was about now. Where he got the dialogue from the wizard from the top to bottom, you know, the perfect exposition page. That's good notes. So, and this is why it's important. Legacy of a Mad Scientist, Legend of Ashley Fox. 26 hours of quality entertainment here on YouTube for you to listen to. Audiobooks, science fiction, fantasy about the future. We have a comic book also in the description and on our website, ashleyfox.ninja. We have another website for a racing game I'm working on, cars levitating in the future. There's a feature I need to buy. I need to spend some money. And it's not something that can be bought like it's already in the asset store. I have to have someone make it for me. Someone who knows code and can do it specifically. I could have spent this whole year looking it up, but it's been easier. I've gotten 160 pages now of a new epic arc for the story. Ashley Fox, Last Valkyrie, where she becomes a angel working for heaven. And it's going really well. Super happy with it. So I couldn't ask for more. I could ask for to be rich, but I certainly don't need to be rich to write. And I don't need to be rich to use a pencil. And I've got a beautiful drafting table. I've got time. I have nothing to complain about. So what do I want to talk about? There's not really anything. Happy Halloween, you guys. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.